Okay. Okay, great. I just want to check if there are any specific questions. Maybe we cover them and then we out of those questions and we can ask more questions or we can have a conversation. But if there's a specific question, I want to get to that before I give you more an overview of
So
what
okay,
we
so
do
let
and
us get
yeah.
started with this. Okay, so how do you see this? The digital marketing industry per se. Okay, like over the period of time, like we have been worked together last 10 years, right? So how do you feel? Like,
Yeah.
how is the market in future? And these people are very new here, 1 year, 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. Okay, so any guidance for them? Uh, you know,
Yeah. So if I can take that question like um, briefly about how I started out and when Tinel and me met, I was working as a copywriter for uh, Google search ads, right? That was the team I was sitting in. And when I moved over, there was an opportunity with Philips as the client with Infosys, and they were looking for individuals who were more dynamic, who could understand the technical aspects of the tools as well as understand what a team needs. So in I would say for me in the digital marketing space, you can't just say I'm an SEO specialist, right? You can't just say I am, I know only SEO, or I know only within SEO I know only this particular piece, right? So what has worked for me especially was having knowledge of how SEO works, but also knowing other different aspects of digital marketing. So that's something that has helped me. When I started out, the world was much simpler, and now we're dealing with a lot of programmatic. We're dealing with a lot of AI. We're dealing with a lot of other different aspects, like even in the work that I am doing right now with Adobe Analytics. A lot of the work that we do is we have to understand and review. Right now, we're reviewing whether there is any AI implications for those tools. We are also seeing a lot of policy changes. The way I'm sure in the SEO world, it's even more dynamic. The way rules change, the way sorry, the way a content is ranked, the way or anything else, right? So it's a very different space. It moves so fast that you cannot. Even today, I did a certification. I had to work. I worked and then did a 2.5 hours of training. So I think what has changed is like in the space in India when I was there, it has it has moved from just getting a ticket. Like Tanil said, you don't just get a ticket today, but you need to dwell into that ticket, see what else they need, or see how else you can provide support, and then take it from there and build on that, right? Like, so that's how I've seen, like, not just technology is changing, not just moving faster, but also the expectation from the client is not just that you're an SEO specialist, but okay, you've improved my site, you've brought me up in the rankings, but how can you help me tell that story back to my business? So there is a skill set which I have found very important along my journey, is called data storytelling, and that's a skill set that is so important that I'm still learning. I don't think I've been in a data storytelling role for marketing campaigns for about 5 years, but there's always something that you can learn.
okay, interesting.
And that's one thing that is universal, I would say. Like, no matter what campaign you work on, or what energy, or sorry, or what technology you work on, how are you able to tell the story of what value it has brought, right? You're spending, in our business, if you spend millions of dollars on a campaign, you have to talk about the ROI and what is the why you did what you did, and were you able to achieve it, right?
Yeah.
So those kind of questions come into play a lot more nowadays. The economy is different. You're working with different kinds of groups. Everyone wants more for their money. Ad spend. You're being asked more questions on the money you're spending on ad. I would say that has changed a lot. I work with with the team from display, and every week every week they have to put together a 30-minute presentation on why they spent how much and what was the benefit of it, what was that impact. So these impact stories are becoming very important, not just as a person who's spending the money, but even the business has to give that justification. If I buy a product, so I'm a product owner of Adobe Analytics in my team. Even if I buy a product, I have to tell the value realization story, it's called, where I have to tell them why I bought the product, how many users did I get, how much time did I save. So that data story is what I have to tell. So I think over time, that, while technologies change, you keep learning, but this is becoming an important aspect where I'm seeing that no matter what your role is within the digital marketing space, you have to tell that data story.
Data story. See,
And that's
this is a
become,
new thing, or like data story. This I am hearing for the first time. The data story
yeah,
is a new thing which has come up right now, or like it's what it was there previously, like when we were there
it
initially.
was there. I would say when we were working together, one team that was very small and it did only once in a while was called Insights and Analytics team.
Yeah,
It was a
I
sub
was a
team.
part of the team. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember. Yeah.
yeah. So that team's job was actually data storytelling.
Oh, I
So
see.
they were supposed to look at the data, make the observations, find the insights, and then put that story together, package it in a way that the business understands. So that was technically what today we call as data storytelling.
Okay, see now coming to this digital marketing, you have different things, right? Like you have SEO, you have analytics, you have Korean Insight. So this all these things. Okay, which one do you think? Which no now our people is more into SEO and analytics. Okay, so and what do you think? How they can benefit? Which three or four thing which you will say will benefit definitely? You said data story. That is one thing. Yes, definitely. And apart from
Yeah.
that, what do you think? What three or four things do you think to improve the skills of us? Yeah,
I would say knowledge of tools.
knowledge
That
of tools.
is,
Okay.
yeah, it's not about, see, say for example, you work with Google Analytics, you work with Adobe Analytics, sorry, or you work with Bright Edge, or you work with some other tool, right? Like whatever tool you work with, it doesn't matter. If you understand the basic concepts, you can apply them to different tools. But the point of knowing tools is that how you can use them to your advantage, right? Like understanding comparing products against one another, right? And understanding, doing that background research of why you choose a certain product and how you can leverage it, and when to buy what tool, and how much to buy, how many years, what kind of licensing possibilities are there. So learning about tools, as you know, it depends. Like if you're a beginner, you just need to learn the tool, one tool which your company has. But within that tool also, are you going every month? There are releases. Today, I feel, even your customer service managers within these tools which you have bought, they want to teach you more. So, like, say for example, we use a very simple tool called Observe Point. It's the cost of the tool is not that much, but the success manager sits with us every 2 weeks and tells us new product updates that are coming in the tool. So it is important for us to take advantage of this change in the industry where the success managers of the tool which you have bought, say you've bought a tool, right? Like Adobe Analytics is a big one. Like Observe Point is a small tool. So if you buy that, try to take more advantage from the success managers. You're paying for the tool, right? Ask them to help you with trainings. Ask them to help you with how to realize more value from that tool, right? You're buying all these tools. Even smaller companies are buying expensive tools because their clients are using them, right? So they are available. They want to help you tell your success stories, or they want to help you get the more value from the tool. So understand the tools better. I would say,
See,
take advantage.
so according to you, the tools comes the first part. next, to get
I
into.
would say first the foundation of what's the concept, like SEO as a concept, and then go into the world and do your research on tools, yeah, right? And then see what tools are there. So if I'm an expert in SEO, I should not just know one particular tool. I should know what is there in the market and understand what are the different tools that are there. And if I have to go as a consultant, right? It's not just about, okay, someone gives me my work, I'll try to work on this one page or this one site and I'm done. So you want to move from just an SEO specialist to a strategist to a consultant. You want to, move along, right? So in order to become that, you need to learn what's in the market. You need to understand where there is maximum market share on what tool,
Okay.
and only then you can become a good consultant.
Okay. Well, oh, sorry.
So tools are one thing, and then you have to know about the industry side, especially if I'm not sure about if your team is working only on SEO, but if you're working in SEO, so definitely you would have to stay. I don't know. We do this once in
Yeah, you can share. You can continue.
are
You
we
can
good?
continue. You can continue.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sam.
so
Hey,
we
Sam,
have
friend
this,
வந்து
we
பேசிட்டு இருக்காரா
have
Sam? நீ வெளிய
like
ஆன்லைன்ல
for
இருக்கியா?
Adobe, what we
Sam.
do, this is just a trick that we
ஏய்
do
செம்ம
within our
இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்
team is
ஃப்ரெண்ட்ரா.
we
கேனடா இருந்து
have
பேசிட்டு இருக்கா.
a
அவ வந்து
weekly
டிஜிட்டல்
session
மார்க்கெட்டிங்
called
பேசிட்டு
Lunch
இருக்கா. நீ
and
வாடா
Learn.
ஆன்லைன்ல வாடா.
So what we do is
நிறைய
we set
கொஸ்டின்
up
கேட்பேன்.
a team meeting and then we open adobe.status.com
ஏய் அது ஓகே. நான்
and
உனக்கு லிங்க் அனுப்புறேன். நீ
we
வரியா இப்போ?
look at all the releases
கேனடா இருந்து
that are
பேசிட்டு
there
இருக்காடா அவ. ஆ?
and we see how we can apply those
டெபரா.
releases, if we can apply it to
வாடா.
our
நான்
existing
லிங்க் அனுப்பட்டா?
work that we
ஆ?
have or the existing
வா
sites
வா.
that we're
சீக்கிரம் வா.
working on. So we look
வா.
at all the releases that come out of a tool, and then from there we see how we can leverage it. So that's another way of, like, making updates and learning from what is out there in the releases.
Okay,
Yeah.
Deborah, yeah, fine. So, now when now looking into SEO, okay, how is the market now, right now in for SEO? Like, opening, or how is the market?
I mean, we would, other tools may come and go, or
No,
other
yeah, yeah,
skills may
no,
come and
only,
go. Yeah, but SEO will always be like today. I would say 60% of my traffic to my site comes from natural search,
natural search.
natural search between from search engines,
Okay.
with 90% or 95% of the share
Okay.
coming from Google
Okay. So
search engine.
now where is this analytics standing right now? Analytics in the market.
SEO
No,
analytics or Adobe and web analytics?
see, web analytics and SEO analytics. What is the difference? I don't know. Both the same, right?
No, I mean, like
Okay, SEO is
Adobe Analytics would be across all your channels,
all right.
whereas SEO would be more deep diving
No,
into,
no,
like,
web analytics.
it-
Let's talk about web analytics.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of GDPR, the California privacy laws. All of these are coming into play. So first party data or first party, information identities are becoming a big piece of the conversation, right? Right, like how you can directly ask them to create a profile, and we want to create custom experiences for these people who are logging in. So I would say that the landscape is changing. Like third party cookies were going away. So Google said they're going to take away third party cookies. So but now they totally dropped the idea. So everything is being governed by privacy and additional privacy. So there is that aspect of how do we better prepare ourselves. So that's one of the big changes that we're seeing. Again, a lot of the European countries are not
Yeah.
happy or are actually banning the usage of Google Analytics. So more geographies are coming over to Adobe Analytics. So that's a difference we are seeing. Um, so there's an additional interest in Adobe Analytics, and then there are smaller players. We have Piano Analytics, Motomo, I think Core Metrics, all of those smaller guys are there, but the big guys, or at least the bigger, Fortune 500s, all of the bigger companies, you would see most likely they would have Adobe Analytics and then GA or Google Analytics as a second
Second.
solution on top of that.
Okay, so Google Analytics, but if you learn about Google Analytics, people knows about that, right? You get a,
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Yeah, it just comes down to see like smaller companies cannot afford Adobe Analytics because it's an enterprise based solution. It is
yes,
extremely expensive.
yeah,
Like I went to this conference the other day, and literally everyone was asking me how much Target costs, how much this product costs, how much that product costs, because everyone is so conscious. Like when you are working with the SMB, right? Like they are not going to be buying Adobe Analytics as a solution. But if you're working with a bigger company, then Adobe Analytics. And once you get into Adobe Analytics, you'll always have to search for opportunities in other bigger firms itself.
okay.
So you are limited, at the same time you have an opportunity. So it's like it's a two-way thing.
See, there was one important, thing which struck in my mind. Okay, so you were talking about the certification, right? You told that right now you are doing certification, some certification you did, right? So how
Training.
how good? See, we are promoting our people to do a lot of certification. Okay,
Mhm.
so and because of certification, we are spending a lot of time. A lot of their time is going on. Okay. So
Okay.
when no, when you have around 30 40 hours, around I would say around 20 hours is going in certification. So how good is certification, and how it is going to value our thing over the period of time? Or do you recommend doing certification?
I am an Adobe champ. I should not be saying anything about it.
Yeah.
Um, I would say this is my personal experience. Okay, it depends on where you are in your career.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
so I would, after being here, being acknowledged by my community, by Adobe as a champion, it doesn't matter much to me.
mm. Yeah.
Okay, because I've already established that fact. I am doing training, which is different from certification, and I do it on my own time. So if I have 40 hours in a week, I'm spending 45 hours. I have
Okay, got
leadership
it.
who
Got
spend
it.
60 hours
Okay.
who are learning apart from their 8 hours of work.
Okay.
So I have,
So maybe you are
I,
spending your time
yeah.
in weekends and you're learning those kind of things.
It doesn't even take the week. I never work on the weekend. That's me. I will never work on the weekend.
Okay. I know
And
about
I
that.
will
Yes.
never take a job on the
Yes.
weekend. So, I mean, I'm blessed that way, I would say. But I think learning is important. It, like I said, it's based on your career path, where you are, what you're doing. Um, and I would say when you're starting out, experience helps, but a certification gets your foot in the door. Like you can at least start and be part of the conversation.
Truly,
But
yeah.
once you go into an interview, they're going to ask you questions. And if you don't know what you're talking about, that certification is not going to help you.
Yes.
Because I've interviewed, I'm not exaggerating, at least 150 people for Adobe Analytics only in
150,
the past 3 years.
So that is how much?
Yeah.
1 lakh? I don't know, 10,
Yeah.
150
People,
people. Okay, okay.
150 people, I would say,
Mm.
in the past 5 years for Adobe Analytics.
Analytics. Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I think it's more
So,
than that, Deborah. Okay, from Infosys, if you take you,
5 years, I would say five
you
years.
5 years. Okay, okay.
Because the other factor is that when you go to bigger companies, there's one person doing that one job. And when you say like you're a smaller company and you'll do different things, the joy of being in a smaller company is that you get to do everything and you get to learn
True
everything,
indeed, true indeed, yeah.
which is so amazing, and you learn so much. So I would say everyone should always start their career in a smaller firm. They learn so much, I would say that. Because once you move to a bigger firm, you're just doing one or two things. In your day, you're repeatedly doing the same thing most of the time. It depends, right? If you have a good boss, you have a good team, you're with a good client, a lot of other factors in a big company matters. But in a smaller company, you get to do a lot more, you learn more. I mean, I have friends who came from agency and they're like, say, "Hey, this is so boring, I want to go back." you know so that's been the experience. Coming back to certification, yes, it helps you get your foot in the door, it gets you recognized, you get that brand eminence, you get all of that. But then when you actually have to do your job, it doesn't matter at all. When you actually have that interview, it doesn't matter. We don't look at it. I have not looked at anyone who had a certification because I
Okay.
don't trust that certification.
But see that
So
that certification will give you an entry to the bigger company, right?
it
So that is
it
that.
gets you from the HR screening
Mhm.
to the pick to an interview.
Interview, yeah.
But yeah, the hiring manager, at least all the hiring managers I've talked to in the past, they've never looked at a certification.
That was the
So it gets you from one step to the next.
Mhm.
But when you're younger and you're,
Mm.
but I would say if you're doing the certification, make sure that, and I'm sure you have a lot of young folks on the team, they're very active on LinkedIn. You have to think about that social presence that you have. I have not posted on my own personal socials from 2016, I would say, but in the last 3 years, I've become very active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So while I still keep my other profiles for work available, but
See, in
I
India,
would
India
like it
LinkedIn
up.
is not that famous. Okay, people are using it, but not that greatly. They are using it. But we don't know about the European countries how LinkedIn is.
I don't know. I would have to differ, beg to differ on that. Like,
Okay.
uh, I have a lot of colleagues who are in US India office of Deloitte, and they are very active. And if you want to be, a lot of recruiters are also looking at that space when they want to move. Like, if it gives you an edge, if you both have the same amount of years of experience, you both have the same certification, and both of the same experience, they will go to your LinkedIn profile to make, how are you different, are you part of the conversation.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
today's
Okay.
professional has to be part of the conversation. You
Oh, I
have to
see.
be on forums,
Okay,
you
okay.
have to be talking and being part of the whole, what is happening in the industry. You have to show that you are an
See,
expert,
there
how
was a,
you
I
should.
remember, okay, there was a client from Dubai, okay, so Technomax, okay, so I remember. So they told that we have selected you because you were good, that's fine. But there was another company also, but you were more active in LinkedIn and that is the reason we selected you. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that is
yeah.
the thing, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's one area where, I'm privileged to be part of the in when hiring process, learning how to hire as well as getting hired and coming and over here, and it's so different because when we are in India, we are so focused on getting the job done. Like over here, I have time. My boss says, let's not just say I'll deliver tomorrow, because you have to count your learning hours, you have to count how long you took to research, you have to count how much of conversations you've had with everyone, and then give a kind of a timeline. So we are so stuck in that, like, I have to deliver, I work like 14 hours over there, right, in India every day, whereas over here I work 7 hours.
I remember
And
that.
I'm not exaggerating.
No, I remember
I'm
that.
sick.
See, guys, as we used to come by 11 o'clock, but she used to go by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. 11 a.m. she comes and go by 11 or 12. Which sometimes you go by 12 also, right? Sometime,
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like the work. But
mm,
that's the thing, like, we focus so much on the task, the ticket, how much we can, the volume, everything that's coming to us. We never take a minute to go and show our community, the SEO community, do they know you, right? Who knows you? Think about it. Do they know me in Chennai? Do they know me in Tamil Nadu or in India? Where am I known, right? So if you're working with the tool, there are so many conferences, anyone can go and speak. How many times do we see anyone going and speaking there? Like, are we looking at that? Because over here, when I go for an interview, they ask me, are you associated with any communities, any forums? That's what they're asking you, because they want to know you're an expert or not.
okay.
And who will tell you're an expert? Your community, right? Like
Community. See,
your
that itself
peers.
speaks. That itself
Yeah.
speaks. That itself speaks, right? So you know how to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over here, I'm a manager only, but they expect me to be part of an Adobe Analytics Championship program, advisory board, council, a change management, a UX council. So you're part of these different groups just because you want to show them that you can advise. That skill is something that maybe we have to build, I would say,
Okay.
that skill of
Okay,
being
Deborah.
able to
See,
show our brand
yeah,
eminence.
Deborah, I am keep on speaking. So I just want to give people over here
Oh
some,
yeah,
yeah. So okay, so guys, no, you can speak, guys. Any questions you have, you can speak. Okay, so I don't want to keep it, no, refined to me.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, Deborah.
hi
Ram
Ram.
Kumar. Yeah, yeah. So I want to ask you something. See, how should we connect with these forums and communities in LinkedIn? What is the first step that we can take? Because there are many communities available in the, I mean, in the market, right? So in the LinkedIn platforms.
Yeah,
So how can we connect genuine platforms? How can we find out?
yeah. So for me, I would say start with your tools. Your tools, whoever, what products you work with, right? They
Okay.
themselves have communities. So
Oh, okay.
like Adobe Analytics has its experience league. So you join that experience league and you can be part of that community. Or if you can be part of like Google's communities, right? So
Mhm.
your different search engines would have communities and forums where you can go be part of the conversation.
Okay.
Everyone is looking for free, it's called ambassadorship. Basically, I'm an ambassador for Adobe right now.
Okay.
I'm giving them free advertising basically because I
Mhm.
go everywhere and talk about Adobe. And I came here today and I'm talking so much. I mean, out of everything, you'll only remember that I worked with Adobe Analytics, right? So
Yes.
it's like that. So
Okay.
think of the products you work with. Ask the CSM. Are there any forums? Are you having any community? Are you having speaking opportunities? And be part of that conversation. That's the most simplest way to do it. And then after that, go to LinkedIn, see someone whom have you look up to. You look up for mentorship. And this is something we don't do in India. It's called mentorship.
Mhm.
Do you today, if you ask yourself, do you have a mentor for your career? Right?
Yes.
I didn't have one. I'm telling you,
Mhm.
I didn't have one. I
Mhm.
came over here, now I have three mentors because that is the culture that is built in. I'm going to say it openly, in the Western world. It's not something that we have. I don't know anyone in my career in India who ever said, "Come, I'll mentor you or guide you."
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Mhm.
We would have people who will talk to us for hours, but our mentors. So why would I bring this up? Is go and see who you follow or who do you follow today. Ask yourself this question: do I follow anyone on LinkedIn? If you don't, then you really have to start right now. Go and
Yes.
find speakers. They're called thought leaders. Okay, so go and find thought leaders or leaders in your industry, in SEO, if you're focused on SEO, who you enjoy reading about or reading their content, and see in their groups where they are associated with, and join those groups.
Okay.
So then you start getting in your feed also will change completely. Your feed will stop being about this person who got that certificate, or your friend who got promoted. It will change into, your feed will start becoming part of what your thought leaders whom you're following are about. So that's the most simple way to start. And then from there, ask your CSM. I would say, if you have any I don't know till what's your tech stack, like what all tools you all work with, but whoever's your success manager, it's called customer success manager or account manager. You have technical account managers. So ask those people who you're working with as a tool, ask them to connect you with people or with forums. And there's a lot of different ways you can connect.
See, right now we have this Semrush, okay, which is a paid one which we are using. Okay, so Deborah, so what do you do? You take 2 minutes of time, rest. I am going to speak the team. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So Ram, see, we have this particular thing, right? So see, she was talking about the mentorship. Okay, that's a very important thing which we should have. Okay, see, engaging with the communities. Okay, so see, you are a SEO person, right? So you can teach, or maybe you can go to YouTube and you can teach about your SEO skills. Whatever you can teach. So what happen next time when you go for a interview? You can say, okay, I am doing this, I am doing this, I am I am known to this particular Kochi area, I am known to this particular Kerala, I am getting this much of views, this many people are following me. So those kind of things will definitely help you in getting the interview. Because I don't want to ask any question because you have been mentoring them for a long time. You have been teaching them for a long time. I don't have to ask you any question with regards to SEO. I know that you are already doing good. No, that is the one way of Western thinking, I guess. So that is, I
Yeah,
think,
it is. It's a kind of it's it's like how we say in some forums, like teach one, right?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
it's kind of that culture, but on a higher, more elevated platform. Like that's what they do.
See,
So
our interview process when I compare to India and Canada, I see a lot of difference. Okay, so see,
oh yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
ask normal question, 5 minutes of question, normal five thing we ask. Okay, but people will tell, but when they come to the operations, when they come to the this one, they are not able to do, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean that's a whole different conversation that I feel very strongly about. But I would say if you're looking for mentors, one way is that, and then look at leaders who you read about. Semrush, if you have the tool, then catch your client CSM and ask them. There is Medium. I don't know how many of you all know heard of Medium. If you don't want to write a long blog, then just write a short 5 minute read, 2 minute reads. There are people who are writing on that for a long time. So you can just write over there or find people whom you're interested in and talk to. I am part of WhatsApp groups which are on digital marketing, which are on troubleshooting problems. So there's Slack groups. There's something that someone shared with me. It's called Measure Slack. Measure Slack from Adobe. That is another one which I joined recently. So there are different groups where you can have one-on-one conversations. You can share ideas. It's just crazy. Like people are happy to share also. Like it's a different world, I would say now. No one feels insecure to share anymore.
yeah,
They don't feel like you're taking away my opportunity because there's so much of opportunity out there.
yeah, okay, fine. So anyone else, guys, any questions? Like I want to ask Ashwin. So Ashwin is one of the person like Raghuveer. Raghuveer and one more guy was there. I
Okay.
forgot his name. Other guy,
Perhaps.
Dabs. Yeah, yeah.
Chaitanya. Yeah.
Chaitanya Dabs. Okay, he's very research oriented and he's a little slow in speaking, but his analytic skills are very good. Okay, he's doing very good.
Also.
So Ashwin, I would ask, do you want to ask any questions with?
Yeah, yeah, sir. Okay, hi, Deborah.
Hello.
Okay, ma'am, while working in SEO, so we are facing primary issues related to content writing. Okay, so as you said, you were a part of copywriting. So, like, we used to
That was
refer it.
initial stage. Yeah. Initial
Sorry.
stage. No, initial stage. He was into.
Yeah. Okay. So now we are referring to AI tools like ChatGPT and other
Yeah.
tools so for taking the content. So, like, will it be benefit for SEO? Like, if we upload these kinds of content in our website, will it improve our rankings and other website traffic? Which will it be helpful for us?
See.
While I cannot say technically what is possible and what improves, I cannot because that's not my area. I would say that a lot of proof of concepts are the way to go, right? Like we also are doing a lot of AI based, sorry, AI based proof of concepts, which we are doing a lot of testing with, right? Like, is this content performing better versus something that was built out or created by an actual human? So that is what we are playing with right now, to see how that works out in online performance. How are people reacting to it? So we're doing a lot of testing. I would not give a blanket statement ever because it keeps changing. I'm not. I don't think I. There is a funny joke that people say that you would always still need humans, um, because the client never knows what they want, right? So your client, if you are always going to be needed, because you would have to translate what your client is imagining but cannot even express. So uh, yeah, I would say that. I know I'm not answering your question
Deborah, see,
uh, the way I want to, but yeah.
you were talking about the AI tools, right? initial conversation, you're talking about the AI tools. What are those AI tools which you are referring to? Okay, and how that has helped you, and which area
So
which area you were using that AI tool?
so with I am only focusing on Adobe Analytics right now, right?
Analytics.
So within Adobe Analytics, there are capabilities and features that that lean on AI to provide inputs, like they give you alerts, they help you what's the word I'm looking for? Proximity. Yeah. What is the proximity of some segments? Like if this segment looks like this, maybe this, they give you suggestions of this segment could also look like this. So there's a lot of segment suggestions they provide, right? And they do a lot of anomaly detection right now for us. What else are we using it for? Yeah, I think those were the top two. And then we've got NLP insights.
Okay.
Tableau is providing us with a lot of NLG. So we are doing a lot of that stuff as well. But at the end of the day, it's not a separate AI tool or anything. It's all the features that are built in using AI as the engine. So it's all within Adobe Analytics or Tableau, stuff like that. We are not using any tools outside. Otherwise, Deloitte itself has in-house tools that they are building, but our group doesn't use them technically.
Okay, fine. See, guys, Deborah is more into analytics. Okay, you can ask with regards to that if you have any questions. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so ma'am, I used to work on Shopify website. Okay, so Shopify also has analytics section, and Google also have Google Analytics section. So when I compare these two data, there's a big difference in both data. So Shopify show more accurate data compared to Google Analytics. So which we need to refer or which we need to show for the clients.
No,
We
see,
have this with
Deborah,
Adobe Analytics,
Deborah, one
and
second. See, it's the same question. Okay, so you have Google Analytics. Okay, and do you have Adobe Analytics? Okay, and now what do you think? Like, the data is different, right? So and
I
yeah.
yeah, it is. It's been happening for ages now. The same issue. I would say. I would say it's a cultural and it's a perspective, and it's about building confidence and trust. And which tool? So I can sell you both the data. Okay, I can sell you both the data. It's about it's about how you tell that story. I would say that for us, we want to talk about Adobe Analytics, but our agency will bring Google Analytics and show us Google Analytics better numbers. But what we try to do is we say that, and this is because we have been using the tool, we are the authority on it. It comes with that confidence. So if you are using Shopify and you're using GA, you have to take a stance and say, okay, I'm going to use GA because of these reasons, and then that's the conversation. That's it. So with us, we always said that you can see whatever you want with GA, but I will only be showing you Adobe Analytics data. So at some point, you have to choose sides, because if you compare the data, is going to have a difference. Now, we allow within our conversations, we allow a 5 to 10% of delta, or difference, whereas some tools show very high difference, and that is a conversation that is more difficult. Whereas we have established the fact, and this is takes it's not today, it's not just a 1 day conversation. Over time, we have to constantly build trust on data. This is a concept that is not easy. It is not a conversation today or tomorrow. It's like over time, and the person who's selling the data is the data storyteller. Is also he or she is selling the data. You're basically trying to tell them that this is my source of truth, this is the Bible for me,
Okay.
and you take this.
And this is why
I'm
you
giving
make
you
the
this.
data story, right? This is why we
Yes.
make the data story. Okay.
Yes. So at the end of the day, you cannot keep jumping. So once you choose one side, you have to stick with that side. You can't go for one data point here and another data point there. So choose a side, stick to the side, and always remember the reason why you chose that side. So that is how it is. Any tool, like even if I take Adobe Analytics data and I put it in Tableau, join it with another data source, like say CRM data, there will be a delta in the data when you show it in a Tableau dashboard or a BI dashboard anywhere. So you've always going to have that. We used to have only the only point when it comes, like if the difference in data is like 50% more, anything about 15% is something that has to be investigated. I will always say that.
Okay,
But
fine.
if it is below that, then the conversation is not even, you should not even validate that conversation. You
That is,
have to show
what is the
that you're
percentage?
confident.
What is the percentage we were talking about?
We don't, ours is 5 to 10% of delta is okay.
Okay,
The tolerance is almost goes up to like 15% maximum.
okay, okay.
But anything above 15%, you have to investigate
Okay.
why there's that difference.
Okay.
But at the same time, you have to understand, if I'm calling a visit here something and a session there something, how is that calculated? In the back end, you should know the difference between the two tools. How are they calculating it?
Got it. Got it.
Because the way you calculate a metric matters a lot.
Okay.
You have to understand your metrics better.
Okay. Okay. So fine. Saul, you want to speak? You want to have any question, Saul?
Oh, once again, I just want to ask you, Deborah,
Yeah.
what training stuff your company is providing? Any boot camps and some similar thing?
So to the outside world, unless they're a client, we don't do any onboarding or anything like that. I mean, we don't do training sessions to anyone. But if you're a client, if we are helping you set up, say we're helping you set up or implementing for you Adobe Analytics, or if you're coming to us for SEO consultation and all of that stuff, then they will walk you through as part of the deal. It depends on what kind of contract you deal with and all of that. They would have onboarding, or it's called care, care and support or whatever, post sale services. So there are different things and different package, the way they package it out, it would be different. But within our group, we have trainings based on, so it depends, like if you're going to have on the client side someone who's going to further maintain it. So there is implement and then there is maintain, right? So you implement it and then someone who's going to maintain it on the client side. Then if they need additional training, we provide training. If they are not going to maintain on their side and we only are going to implement, maintain and do all the operation activity, then we won't even train anyone. So it depends on that. Then the other aspect is we do ambassadorship. We identify individuals in groups. So say as part of user adoption for say a tool, right? If you want a tool to be adopted by a business or a group, you will do a training with them. So there's boot camps training, then there is road shows which we do. So road show is more for awareness, boot camp is to get them to use the tools, right? And then there is office hours. Once they start using the tool, we do office hours. We ask you come to this office hours once a week, once a month, based on how many frequency you want, how many sessions you want to have. We will ask them to come to the office hours and ask questions. So over time, we'll reduce the office hours and then they are on their own. So it depends, right? Like how many people you want to train, how much you want to train. So there are different things. Then we have something called Center of Excellence, where all the experts will sit in one team, and then everyone can just come and give them work and ask them for work, and they will do. Then there is community of practices. Practitioners. So if everyone wants to do their job, then every 1 month or every week we'll come together and we learn together and we ask questions. So there are different styles of training which you can have based on size and based on experts in the team. You can have different types of training sessions.
One more question.
Sure.
See, sorry, similar like my sound also. Sorry. Okay, you are working in Deloitte, right? In
In
Canada.
Deloitte, yeah.
So, by the way, Emerson is using Deloitte. Yeah. Okay, so your people are usually coming office and doing hard working. I can still remember. Okay, my question is internally, if someone in your Deloitte member of, or employee can do internal project or personal project.
If they don't get caught.
For example, Deborah want to do some personal project. Is Deloitte will allow?
It depends. I mean, the answer to any question can be depends,
Okay,
but
that will
the
be boosting your day-to-day life, day-to-day support to the client. If that type of project, if you are using or if you are implementing, your boss approve, any constraints are there or they will not allow. What do you
See,
can you
Deborah,
explain?
yeah. So what he's saying is like you have a team, right? So
yeah.
you want out of your interest, you want to give them some some extra project or training. Okay, so how is that? Am I correct, Sai?
No, no, no. Actually, my question is, if okay, I am working in a DOT in a marketing department.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
I want to do one project as a personal project, but if I can complete successfully, that will boost my performance and that I can use my client, company client. So company will allow that type of training. Sorry, that type of personal project.
Okay, so if I'm working on a personal project, it has to be on a different laptop and it has to be outside of work hours. And I cannot say I am from Deloitte. So today in this call, I can't say I cannot have any posting or anything online on social or anywhere that says I'm from Deloitte and I'm speaking as a Deloitte professional. So there are different rules. Like if I want to take a break in between, I can take a sabbatical and then work for someone or volunteer with someone if I want to. But there are processes in place to get approvals. So if I want to speak in an external conference, I have to get approval from our OGC and then only I can work. So in any scenario, I cannot poach my client. I cannot poach my current client and work for them on my own personal project. We all have non-compete clauses, right? So in any scenario, I cannot do that. And also, Deloitte's clients are very big. They will never leave Deloitte and come and work with me personally unless I build such a strong rapport and unless I can provide all that Deloitte is providing as a single person or as a smaller company. So, and most of the clients have long lasting relationships with Deloitte. So it's mostly that's what's happening there. So, yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
But yeah, it's happened. I'm sure it has happened and it will continue to happen. It has, you always find a loop in the system or loophole, sorry, loophole in the system and you can do
Okay,
things.
how in your company, how companies introducing new tools to the members, new tools,
New tools.
yeah, marketing
Yeah, so
tools.
we have a team called Adoption and Change Management. And then if we have new tools, like right now, I'm in the procurement process of tools. So there's a procurement team, then there is a cyber review team, then we have a third party risk management team. So it has to go through this whole long process that takes almost 3 to 6 months before I can actually use a tool. So, and I have to do kind of like a competitor analysis and show that I have reviewed and researched on different competitors before I have chose this tool. And then only I can procure the tool and then use the tool, and then someone on the user adoption team will help me to get more users to use the new tool. So yeah,
So
that's how.
internal training they will give, right? Internal training.
Oh yeah, it's see again. A lot of the CSMs will set up those trainings for you because today that whole world of product success management, right? That has changed. Before Adobe itself, or even the smaller firms that I've worked with, the Observe Point, demand based, they want you to be very happy with their tool because you have to buy that in 2 years after your contract ends. So they are more than happy to train you. They will give you onboarding, they will give you training
So,
material, and
Deborah, you were saying that we are buying this Semrush tool, okay? So we can contact the
mm,
customer care and they would give us the training, required training.
they definitely can give you training, or they'll give you documentation, or they will ask you to come and speak if you guys have experts.
Oh, I see.
I Yeah, it all depends on, like, again, if you want to buy the tool again, right? So they would want to keep you happy, and especially when the contract is almost ending, they want to keep you very happy. So in that last 3 months before you renew the contract, they'll be more happy to help you. So it's all about, like, playing with them, and trying to get more out of that relationship.
Okay, this is my last question from my
Sure,
side.
sure, Pawan. You
Okay,
can always ping me on
okay.
LinkedIn. We can talk.
A prediction in connection to the analytics. What can you give us a brief idea how to predict next month forecast and next month sales and through the analytics?
That's a very good question. Yes.
I mean, there are so many tools to do that for you, but I have done it in Excel also. So you can, it comes down to what concept, what kind of a model you want to set up, right? Like, I have worked with a data scientist to predict sales and orders. Sorry, what is that? Propensity to sale. I've worked with them, and I've worked in Excel also. So I creating my own small Excel formulas
Formulas.
and
Okay.
creating in Excel. So prediction, there are tools. Adobe itself has come up with a lot of new stuff. Today only I was reading.
Oh.
So within customer journey analytics, they have created new projections which you can show for your data based on visits or sales, orders, revenue, all of it. There are tools, as well as you can apply good old Excel also and get there. But it depends, right? Like, how much of resources you have, how big your team is, how important the client is, what kind of investment they are going to give you. So you want to bring more tools to the conversation and impress the client, then you can do that. Or if you're just doing a POC, you can even create a data science model, work with a data scientist and create a model, and then get that data also. So
Because yeah,
yeah.
because client demand is like this. Can you tell us how much sales I will get next month? This is the simple question they are asking. And how much clicks and impression supposed to you can you offer? How much? So this type of questions is comes out from in our potential clients. So our team need to be ready to answer it. So
Yeah.
a lot of research and readings and attending some forums to the public speaking online. A lot of public speaking is available. I thought
Yeah. Yeah.
LinkedIn is a very good platform to attending this easy, the free symposium and seminars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So nowadays, coming days, this will be the most constraint for small company like us because they will ask straight away how much you can predict and what is the actual now. So how far we need to we need to reach that. How far we need to wait for that to reach the target KPI target. So no shortcut, right? In your
Oh yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
shortcut. Always
Yeah.
search and spend our time and using proper tools. Only we can get the desired result, right?
I would say that there are ways to create your own tools as or your own templates. If you're working with the same fixed variables and parameters, you can create templates. Just input the data into that Excel, and the formula will work its magic, and you can get the data. But I think that the tricky part is, what are the variables that I need to take into consideration to predict the sales, right? Like seasonality, or kind of product, kind of channels that I'll be promoting. So those variables you would have to standardize or create a pattern and see if there is, you know, which variables make the maximum impact, right? Or cause an effect. You'll have to do that correlation and see. Based on that, you can create a model that can be reused for different clients if you're working with the same parameters. Otherwise, you have to do that exercise constantly and differently every time based on what variables you're working with. So yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do. It's just that, yeah, if that's the question you're anticipating from your client, it's good to do a POC. We do a lot of POC before we actually kind of show something to the clients. So in as a team leader also, it's important to kind of put that on the goals of each team member. That's what I do. Is I ask team members, what are you going to do innovation for the next 3 months, other than delivering your, your bare minimum. We call it bare minimum over here.
Yeah,
You're
for
doing
the
a job,
yeah,
and then
for
what
the
else?
innovation part, we started, the hackathon for marketing hackathon. We are
Okay. Yeah.
just started, humbly started. So
Yeah.
my idea is to get more innovative. This is actually innovative challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
We created three team from a pool of talent, and each team working for separate ideas. So hopefully all three will submit. Then
Yeah.
finally we'll select it. That way also we are looking for new innovative way to deliver service, and new innovative way to find it perfect tools, and new way of forecasting. These are I am expecting.
Yeah.
So that's all from my side, Deborah. So good answer. We can ask them, ask the team leads to set a goal in front of their team members for next 2 or 3 months, only
Yeah.
for innovation. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Sanaja, you want to ask anything, Sanaja?
I think it's 1 hour right now. Maybe see lastly, what we can do, Deborah. See, you have something in your mind which you already want thought of speaking here, right? So if there is something that you can just speak for 5 minutes and then we will wind up thing. Yeah.
I I usually tell this to anyone who I speak to. Like, I spoke to a bunch of MBA students when I went to Hyderabad, and I asked who wants to stand up and speak. Right, only one person stood up and actually spoke, uh, and then I say that you're going to remember that person for the next 2 years, because she went off mute, or she came and she stood on the podium and spoke. So when I go from here today, I will remember Saul and Ashwin and Ram, because they asked me questions. So I would say, like, every conversation, every time you go out there, I challenge my team not to stay on mute, because if you stay on mute, or if you check out, it's called checking out, right, from the conversation. If you're not present, there's something you're gonna miss, and if you stay on mute, you technically, your mind trails off. If you stay unmuted, you will always be so careful that you will actually listen. So I'm just saying, because it's virtual, I'm saying mute and unmute. But if you have any conversation, if you're having any client conversation, I'll tell you how my life changed, and that's just one thing I'll tell you is, and Dinil may relate to this, because we worked with the same client eventually. Is I was working as a copywriter with Infosys, earning about 18 or 20K at that point. And then someone came into the room and said, hey, Philips is coming tomorrow, and they're looking for people to talk. And I obviously, my hand always goes up, and never ever hesitate to lift your hand for any opportunity. And I lifted my hand up, and I went home and I told my mom that, and she said, read up about it. So all I did was I read on LinkedIn, sorry, on Wikipedia about Philips. And the next day, the Philips, I don't know if you remember him, Lighton, his name was. He came and he sat next to me and he spoke to me, and I just repeated whatever I read on Wikipedia. And I got to go to Netherlands from there. I got to lead the team for reporting and
I
analytics.
remember that. Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
that.
so it opens doors. I would say every time you get a chance, go off mute. Every time you get a chance, lift your hand, raise your hand, and speak. Because I know, as us, as being Indians, we are all about, like, okay, if our manager's talking, we should keep quiet and we should not talk. But over here, I speak to 20-year-olds and they don't call me sir or madam or whatever, but they ask questions. And asking questions is so powerful. You know, still send me a bunch of things. And he asked me, can you tell me how to help the team, like with all of these things? And the simple answer to any of those questions is just ask a question. Just ask one question. Today, I will remember you only because you asked a question. Tomorrow, you may get the answer and you may be able to solve a problem to a client just because you ask a question. So, I would say anyone who wants to start anywhere, ask a question. That's it. It's a very powerful, simple tip which has helped me in my career.
So that
And
one question you asked, and one thing that made you to go to Netherlands.
made me to go to Netherlands. It made me take an
You got
interest in
exposure.
Adobe Analytics
See,
in
that is the time,
2014.
Deborah. That is the time I
Yeah,
just joined Infosys, okay, and I saw that
yeah,
you were speaking with the Philips team, and I thought you were not from Infosys. I thought actually you are from no Philips team. I was thinking
yeah.
that way.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about that. It's how you build relationship with the client. You just ask them about their culture. You just ask them how do you say good morning in Dutch. So you just keep asking questions and questions. People understand you, you understand them. I mean, I don't know. There's no big solution or big thing. It's just ask a question. Today I did a LinkedIn learning and I asked the chief product evangelist of Adobe, okay, Adobe Analytics, a question. And now he knows me and he's pinging me. So it's just that I ask a question.
Got it.
I mean, I met my husband asking him a question. So I asked him, where is the, what is that? Where is the classroom? That is the first thing I asked my husband. And I met him and I'm with him for like what, 8, 9 years now.
Okay.
So I've been, it's everything. I would just
The
say that's
question
all
is
I,
all about, right? Question is important role, right?
that is the most easy and the most difficult and the most, it opens doors. Trust
Yes.
me, that's all I'll say.
Okay, and see one more last final question, Deborah. Okay, so it is out of topic, like so this
Yeah,
is
sure.
yeah. So you how do you see yourself as a spiritual person? Okay, so I think that is very important thing in our thing. So are you a believer, or like do you believe in God, or like how is it, like is that helped you anyway? That's one question I would ask.
I don't know how it's relevant to this conversation and
Yeah, this is
having
not totally wrong. That's what I
20,
told you.
yes,
Yeah.
27 people on this call.
No,
I
that's
feel
you're
very
on.
conscious to speak about it, but yes, I am a religious person. Uh, yeah, I mean, I won't say religious. I don't know
A
what
believer of God.
people say religious, but I believe in God. I believe in my spirit. And I find people, and that's another thing. So if you, I found someone on LinkedIn who connected Adobe Analytics to religion or to actually their belief in Christianity, and I asked them, how did you do this? And then now he's going to become one of a contractors for us.
Oh.
So I'm just saying, like, uh, we all are very conscious about who we are. But over here in this side of the world, they say bring your authentic self to work, even if it is being religious. I had this great, he was a senior manager. He will write on his LinkedIn that, I thank God for all my colleagues. He's writing it on his LinkedIn. So it's not about religion, it's not about anything. It's about bringing your authentic self to work and bringing who you are. Like, if I am an Indian woman and I love cooking, I should not feel like I don't have to talk about it in a forum. Like, what will people think? I'm such a like homely person. No, that is authentic self, right? Instead of saying I love traveling and just traveling to one other country or just going to Goa, instead of saying something so fake, why don't we just say that I love cooking? You know, so I think it's about bringing yourself to a conversation that everyone will see your genuine side.
Okay, okay, Deborah, fine, thank you. So, Deborah,
Okay, I talked a lot. I've never talked so
yeah,
much.
so almost see, almost 1 hour passed. Okay, so So thank you so much. I personally like this type of. I like the way you communicated to the team. Okay, it was very. It was not a. What do you say? It was a candid talk. Okay, so it was very nice. I personally learned a lot of things. I hope people over here would have already got a lot of good ideas from your side. So thank you so much for attending, coming to this session, and in your busy schedule, you have a kid, 8 months, 10 months old kid. I know it's very hard to manage. Thank you so much, Deborah. Yeah. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.
Ping me on LinkedIn if you would like to connect,
may I
everyone.
know what is your LinkedIn name? Like
I have
user.
Let me
already
just
said, yeah.
put it in the chat.
Okay, so we'll just
Ma'am, one last question. It's a funny question. Okay.
Okay, I love questions.
So maybe this question helped me to move to Netherlands, Canada. Okay, similar like you. Okay, so what's the maximum SEO knowledge should I have to get hired in Deloitte outside India? Like, so that I can join in a Deloitte multinational company. So what's the maximum knowledge should I have in SEO?
There is no maximum knowledge. I would just say whatever Google has last published on, I think this link, I don't know, I'm sure you guys all have this link. But if you know everything that belongs here, then you're in a good place. But I don't know if you'll keep this, but it's I bookmark it and try to read out on updates.
yeah,
But yeah, I would say there's no maximum to any knowledge. There's no, I would say after 10 years of working in development analytics, I know only 70% maybe. So there's no maximum. There's only how much of the newest do I know or not.
yes, that's an idea.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
Deborah. So
we got it. Your
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn profile link. Yeah. Thank you
Thank,
so much. Yeah.
thanks everyone.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
I will be the first person to connect you.
I will connect with you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Thanks
Okay, good
everyone.
night.
Talk to you
Have a
later.
nice time. Okay, good night. Bye bye.
Bye
Man.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I hope see you again.